Hello everyone, welcome back to more Digimon Mod 2003. We're back with the legendary cards, the epic cards. So we've only got two more actual Digimonster card battle. And then well actually three more, two more in this video. One more will probably be in the next video. And then it's on to the actual trainers. Now, of course, I did get lost again a little bit, but sometimes it's useful to have Digimon there to, to talk to, and you say, "Oh, where do I go?" But most of the time, if it's a dead end area, which they will put card people in dead end areas, they'll normally say things like, "Oh, need to find the exit. Oh, it's north, or oh, it's east," and I'm like, I actually don't want to find the exit. I actually. Unfortunately, I don't really say anything like, sometimes there's treasure at dead ends and stuff. I think there might be like certain people you speak to which they might mention things like, if you go into the circuit boards of Digimon, there are treasure there. I think they'd actually mention this after the game as well, which is kind of not useful because, but I think there was someone like after the game who said something like that. Yeah. I don't know, but I never really bother to go around looking for actual treasure. They're normally nothing special. I mean, sometimes they can be weapons, sometimes they can be, just generally just item stuff. But I never hardly ever use the items in this game. I don't really need to, especially with the Digimon I've got now. I can like heal with them if I want to, or I could just survive the battle and just rest. So I don't really need to use items. When I first played this, I like completely abused some items because I couldn't understand the concept of RPG. This was probably one of the first proper RPGs I tried to get into when I was a kid, and I didn't really, I got fed up of raising 3 Digimon. I was used to Digimon World 1 with raising just 1 Digimon, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna raise 1, and made a big mistake, and I abused items for it and stuff, and it didn't help me. Okay, so this BK Agumon, he is going to drop quite a powerful PG card known as the Anti-Power card. Now, it pretty much just does what it says. The little colour blocks, as you can see on the top and bottom of the screen, as I told you about, each block represents a monster. So you have like white blocks for white monsters like Angemon because it's light. Black for dark enemies like Devimon, Fire, Greymon, grass for bug and grass types, blue for water. Now Anti-Power, what it actually does is that it actually reduces all those colour blocks to 0. Now, as I said before, with this game, basically your blocks are almost like sacrifices. Like Yu-Gi-Oh, you have sacrifices. You have to sacrifice those blocks, unless you're using rookies. If it's a champion, you have to sacrifice 1 block. If it's an ultimate, you have to sacrifice 2 blocks. So if it was Greymon, he's only worth 1 because he's a champion, so I'd have to have 1 red block. Metal Greymon, I'd have to have 2. War Greymon, I'd have to have 3, etc. But if you haven't got any blocks, you can't summon that monster. That's what Anti-Power does. It basically puts, not just yours though, the opponent's. It puts all the blocks to 0, which means you can't summon any monster directly from hand. The only way you can summon monsters is through summon PG cards, like Summon Angemon, which I'm using right here, or Summon Devimon. Or certain cards that enables you to, bring monsters out from your hand when you're in the battlefield bit. Basically kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh, how you say, I've summoned a monster already, but now I'm going to special summon a monster sort of thing. That's kind of what it is. The only way you'd be able to get past that card is if you special summon a monster. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm going to be using it. Because it's going to become very useful in my, basically, I just call it my summon deck, I guess, my special summon monster deck, whereas I don't tend to use many monsters and summon them onto the field normally. I just special summon them all the time. That way I could use Anti-Power, reduce all of the blocks to 0, because I don't need any blocks if I'm special summoning a monster. You know, that cancels out that effect, which is handy. But the opponent can't summon anything unless it's a brown Digimon. Any brown Digimon's kind of like, well, I don't really know how to describe them really well. They're kind of like the Sui types, you know, Numamon, Sukakamon, I think it's Sukamon, you know, the trashy type, Garbagemon, literally just called Garbagemon, you know, types like that. Even the some of the machine types like Andromon and that are classed as the brown types. They don't need any blocks at all, so you can just summon them anyway. The only downside, obviously, to them, as I think I mentioned before, is brown type Digimon cards are more vulnerable to being destroyed by other PG cards. You know, there's loads of cards that says destroy all brown Digimon cards in hand, destroy all brown Digimon cards on the field. They're more vulnerable because they're so easy to summon. But yeah, that's pretty much what my deck is going to be there, my special summon deck, you know. Basically make it to the point where they either can't use any cards in their hand, you know, can't summon anything like that, and then I just kind of automatically win that way. Here we go, Absolute Zero, using it here, or anti-power, sorry, not Absolute Zero. Absolute Zero is something else. So yeah, as you can see, all blocks are reduced to 0. Of course, if you've got power cards, is what they call them. Like, he's got a black power card there, which basically means he can add 1 power block to his black block there, to his dark block, which means now he's got 2 dark blocks, so he could summon 2 champions, 1 ultimate, whatever. So yeah, if you've got that, you know, I never bothered using them, to be fair. I did when I first played for them, but personally I don't feel like I need them. Unless you're going for maybe an all-colour deck, like if you're going for an all-black deck or an all-green deck, an all-red deck, whatever, then you might want to if you want to summon some Megas or some Ultimates, but most of the time, I don't need to, so... Anyway, we won with not too much trouble. We get the anti-power, so I definitely adding that to my, my card folder. One of my favourite PG cards, hands down. You know, if used correctly, you know, it doesn't even have to affect you, so that's just why I like it. But you know, it's just using it at the right time, really. It's just using it at the right time. There's going to be another one later on that's really like it's a game changer. Like, if you can't stop it with a PG card, you know, if you can't get rid of it before it's played, you are screwed. Or even if you can't, you know, if you can't use a freeze bar to stop it while it's being played, you are screwed. Like, it's literally game over if you can't stop him from using it. You know, there are cards where you want to stop him from using, but it doesn't mean you're going to lose. You know what I mean? You might still have a chance to win. This card that's coming up in the next part basically says, okay, you can't stop me, then I've won this match. Not the round, not the whole round, of course, not the whole battle, just the match, just the round, just the match. The first round match, or whatever you call it. Yeah, it's annoying when the opponent uses it on you. Of course, if you use it on them, awesome. But you've also got to think ahead. It basically affects everything. But once played, that round is lost. Unless the opponent happens to make a mistake by using it, because obviously if you use it at the wrong time, or if you use it at the wrong time, etc., you know, then that's it. Oh, I went for a dead end. But yeah, when we get to it, but yeah, man, it's one hell of a card. It is one hell of a card. And I think there are some opponents that, you know, somehow have 2 of these cards. Yes, 2. They're meant to be legendary cards, like limited edition cards, that you can only have, like, you know, one card. That's it. You can't have any more of that same card in your folder or anything. But because they're the opponents, they can. So yeah, that's kind of annoying. Especially when if you can't stop it, that's it, it's over. You know, there are cards like that in Yu-Gi-Oh! I think, where, like, I mean, I don't know now, But they used to be like, apart from obviously having like 5 pieces of Exodia automatically win, there were cards that literally, if it was played and you couldn't stop it, that basically means you win. You know, I think we had like, I think there was a card called the Final Countdown or something. It's kind of like Exodia pieces. I think like if you had all the pieces and then you played the card, I think like you just win automatically or something like that. Something like that. There were cards out there that basically said, once I play this, I win. There is nothing you can do. You can't stop it. You know, the overpowered cards, and that's pretty much what a lot of these cards are, really. The only the ones that probably not so much is the monsters. At least you can just kind of like destroy monsters, but PG cards are not so easily destroyed. So obviously opponents like to use freeze bugs. Now I did lose here once, but I left it in so you guys could see how difficult this opponent is. But this one's a monster. This one's another basically, you know, AP and HP, you know, times by how many la 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 la. I think it's like how many monsters are on your side, not your opponent's, not the whole field. I think it's just your side, I think. So yeah, another one of those cards, and it's a white card because he's pretty much got a complete white deck here. So yeah, to be honest, I didn't get a good hand. I think that was one of the reasons, really, was just I didn't get a good hand. So, you know, some opponents you can excuse and you might be able to come back, but a lot of these opponents, they are, you know, they're going to play hardball. They're here to screw you over, man. They're here to be difficult. So you kind of don't want to slip up. Boys, it's over. It's over. I got my misery gate right there. I still lose though. Of course, at this point, I don't know what he's playing, so you know. I never really tend to practice ahead of time before recording when it comes to things like these. Depending on what Let's Play I'm doing, sometimes I will practice ahead just to make sure. If it's a game I'm confident. If it's a game I'm confident in, you know, because I've played it several times and I'm confident I can beat this level or beat this boss or whatever, then I'll just go ahead and get straight into it. But if it's a game that, even though I've played before, you know, I might think this is challenging or something, or I might just, you know, need to get back in the swing of things, then I will do a quick practice ahead of time of that level or boss or whatever, you know, just to make sure I can still do things. And obviously I do that at the start of Let's Plays as well, to make sure that I do everything correctly and, you know, don't mess up too much. Make it seem like I know what I'm doing, at least. So I don't have to do that much editing. Now this one's quite a good card, Sacred Spear. That's not the card we're going to win, but it's the card we will win later on. Yep, that one's a legendary card as well. I know what it does. I'm not going to say anything. I mean, glad if you could pause and look at the video and see what it says if you want. But if you don't know, if you didn't do that, then I will basically. Oh, that's the card I believe. I think it's Rosemon. Yeah. I will explain it when we get to it. It's quite an it's quite an overpowered card. You throw a lot of these at you, and this card as well. Yeah. I love that card though. Take a sip of my drink here. Throat getting a little bit dry. But despite all that, I still lost. I sort of came close, but you know, despite my efforts, I needed probably at least another card I could summon, like another Digimon, so I could win. You know, I couldn't do it. Such a shame. You know, I thought I'd give it a try, but no, I lost. I do skip ahead though. I skip ahead so you guys don't see it. Now that I think about it, if I'm honest, when I look back at that, I think I could have won now. Because I think I could have used Digimon and then used Gold Aura, and then I would have had 29 to 28 well, 8 HD, HP and AP, and I think I would have been enough to win. Now that I think about it, but I think I was just being safe. I was like, no, I don't think I can win this. Bleh. Oh well, now that I'm looking back at it, I'm just thinking, oh, I think I could have won if I had just looked carefully, you know. Most of the time I do tend to just think ahead. I just think, okay, I'll work out how much my stats are. Is that going to beat his stats? No, it's not. You know, that's pretty much what it is. Beat the opponent's stats. If the opponent hasn't got no stats, you win automatically. Of course, if you both have no stats, it's a draw, which is annoying. Well, it's a draw, but it counts to your opponent's winning, so it's kind of not a draw, really. I still think they could have, you know, done a system to make it not so long, and then you can include draws and stuff, you know? Just irritating. Worked it out, you know, worked it out somehow. I don't think I've ever like run out of cards either. You know, it's never been long enough that you run out of cards. You know, so you get like an automatic. I mean, I'm guessing you lose if you know you can't draw any more cards. But I don't think I've ever had that problem. I've come close, but yeah, you know, I don't know what happens if you can't summon, if you can't draw six cards from your deck, I should say, to your hand at the start of each round. I'm not sure. I'm guessing it would just, you know, that's it. You know, you lose. Probably be the same as you go, really. Just fail. You know, you can't draw the cards. You fail. But I do win this time, so I edited it out so I can win this time. I got a better hand and you know managed to sort it out. So here we are. Anyway, after this we've got one more Digimon to fight, and then it's all trainers. And they've got the really best stuff. They got the top stuff they have. But this is Rosemon, and I think I was right that basically it's like AP and HP times the amount of monsters out on your field. I think it's just your field. I think that's what it says anyway. Yeah, Rosemon 2. Yeah, AP and HP become 20 times the number of Digimon. Oh, okay, in the field. Okay, I was wrong. But that's enough said, guys. Thank you for watching, and join me in the next part where we fight the final Digimon, and then we get to go on to the trainers, the real good legendary cards. Till then, guys, I'll see you next time.